the so-called nice guys who complain about being placed in the friend zone.
Shut up.
Zip it! Close your mouth! We're sick of you playing the part of compassionate listener around female friends.
Only to whine when your benevolence fails to result in booty.
As if there weren't better causes to whine about.
Like patriarchy.
Entitlement.
Valuing women for our ability to cure your boner and not our actual personhood.
Newsflash!
Women are not slot machines that respond to your kindness with sex.
Thinking you are owed something for not being an asshole
Makes you an asshole.
But somehow, you have decided that you are the victim.
Screwed by women's decisions not to screw you. Mansplaining why you don't belong in the friend zone.
We know these points have been made before. But there is one question that everyone overlooks.
Who the fuck complains about being placed in something called the friend zone?
It sounds awesome! Like AutoZone, but for friends!
You act like the friend zone is the worst place ever, but there are plenty of worse places.
Like a Waffle House bathroom at 3 a.m.
The elephant graveyard.
You must never go there, Simba. All 9 circles of hell. Whenever I think of the friend zone, all I can picture is the most magical place in the world, where the humans are real, but the animals are cartoons that smile and talk to you.
And the sunflowers have faces, and they look down at their branches and say,
Hey, I'm glad I'm growing and all, but these buds will never compare to the ones standing next to me. Thank you for being a friend.
My friend zone is an island of possibility where there will be no creeps, but there will be lots of crepes made by friendly pirates.
Yar, me best friend.
But no booty calls.
Arr! You might not like being placed in the friend zone.
But where else are you going to find a zone with its own theme song?
That goes, hanging with my friends in the friend zone, where everyone gets a high five.
There's a lot of pizza here, and we're happy to be alive.
Yeah. There will be no sexting in the friend zone.
No dick pics.
No unwelcomed grinding.
No shady intentions disguised as kindness.
Only actual kindness.
Consensual hugs.
And a giant boat filled with s'mores.
Called the friend
Ship. And if that doesn't float your boat,
if real friendship is somehow disappointing,
then nobody wants your ass in the friend zone anyway.
Vente para la casa ahorita mismo porque más te vale.
किथे आ तू कितनी बारी फोन कीता तन्नू?
In this house, my mother es la que tiene los pantalones.
My dad may bring the money, but my mom is what keeps our household together.
Why didn't you do the laundry?
Pick up the dishes.
Don't you dare turn on the
सब पता
TV.
मैं की करती कि नहीं है, तू हमें टीवी देख रही है, कुछ काम भी कर लिया कर हमें.
She scolds and scolds. Something new, something old.
I don't want to do the laundry, Mom.
I feel the terror as my mother walks closer and closer, every step shaking the ground.
As she says,
You don't want to do what?
if she stays quiet for the next 5 seconds, I know I messed up. If I want to go sleep over at my friend's house,
There is no hope, because Mama always tells me
that I have a bed.
I have a house. Why would I want to go somewhere else?
She is a woman made of tolerance. But if I insist or say anything stupid, here comes the lecture.
The chancla on one hand.
The chapel seems close, and her
ya te dije que
no look will make me stay quiet.
My mother does not know what sleep is.
She wakes up at 5 a.m. and makes jaw.
Before she leaves from work, she wakes us up to the sound of cumbia
And listens peacefully to beautiful religious shabbads that make her feet tap to the rhythm and her wide hips move side to side.
while making some
Parates,
empanadas
lassi.
and arroz con leche. Mi madre is beautiful.
Her black hair is long enough to wrap you in the enchantment
of her canto. Her arms strong enough
to carry everything that has fallen down. My mother carries her brown skin like a keepsake. bringing back her Indian genes.
She says there's no shame of being called a goddess or Devi.
Her thick accent is always reminding me
That home is a place I should never forget.
I begged my mother to teach me the history behind her native tongue.
Her journey to America from her husband's family that hated her very existence. To teach me how to be strong like her, knowing she could get separated from her family.
And thrown back into the slums, she tried to leave.
How to hide my pain.
Her exhaustion from working.
The emotional scars she has from 9/11. How to run like her. How to move to the rhythm of her rolling R's. She said that our tongue is a masterpiece. Our language cannot be taken away. Mi madre is not afraid of being called
indígena.
a sick jatti. She is always loud enough to make you stop and listen to what she has come to offer. Because my Latina Punjabi mother does not know how to stay quiet.
The Trojan War was no match for fighters with families at home slowly forgetting facial features, only picturing belligerent battles. While on their journey home, Odysseus' men let their victory convince them they were entitled to the finer things, introduced the Cyclops to the drunkenness of fermented fruit, carried on with their odyssey. But the Cyclops and Poseidon shared blood. Poseidon's wrath rained down on Odysseus' raft, leaving the men to an unwanted journey. Our odyssey began when family abandoned our ship, decided it was not one they wanted to sail. Our parents, like the Cyclops, indulged in fermented fruit. It doesn't matter how thick blood is when alcohol is a blood thinner. At first, the men met Circe, who hexed them into hogs. They survived the blight. Odysseus, blinded by begging, stayed with the witch. I rename myself Odysseus. I conquer even when I am hurt, but I will always give in to a plea. I see Circe and my mother who bathed me in bruises, taught me to loathe myself until I learned how to turn my fractures into fists that fight back. But I still put myself in danger trying to save her. Street lamps flickering like Odysseus' desire to go home. Seeing her figure get further in strobe like flashes, I let the gravel fill the space between my toes. Power lines and sirens echoing through alleyways. I, Odysseus, sided with the beast. I took on Zeus's dirty deeds like Hermes, messenger for the gods who saved Odysseus from the captivity of Circe. I, the letter carrier of the drug lords, saved my dad from the danger of debt and death when the drug dealers got a little too comfortable. At the edge of the world, Odysseus saw his late mother and Penelope's aged face. At the edge of the world, Odysseus realized Ithaca needed him and headed home. At the edge of the world, my mom dies 4 times in the back of an ambulance. I watch as the lights flare through the window, count the seconds before the sirens flood the room. At the edge of the world, I turn my ship around, move on, not knowing if she will ever be back on board. I have to move on. I have to move on. Like Odysseus, I box myself to escape the siren song, wrap myself in fortitude to outweigh their essence, embellish with bloody bow and bold backbone. I unwrap myself when the occasion arises, but it's Christmas morning and Daddy is in handcuffs again. And Mommy is in the back of an ambulance again. The siren sees our only protector, but I, Odysseus, toughest of all warriors, can get through a shipwreck without a support system. When the world I have always known disintegrates into nothing but dust, I will digest the ash and paddle my way through all 7 seas.
You want to hear the story of a femme fatale, a femme with blood on their hands,
and a siren song stuck in their throat. But Femme is not authored by misogyny.
The story of Femme is the rib, easier to crack in isolation.
And in the comfort of community.
Femme, the rib, synonymous with protector
And holder of hearts
and hands.
Source ricks of sensitivity.
Keeper of accountability.
Femme is flesh,
a softness that is sought after. Here
Here's to the ribs and not the cages we are kept in. To my femme, which be black fabric of the cosmos, covered in white speckled tribal markings, be all deep like my lineage, lifetimes of ancestors in my skin.
Here's to the root work, to building a house of cards on a moving train,
To giving ourselves a second chance,
to be amazed
by the stillness of our hands
and the length of our temper. Femme is fluent in collapsing and reconstruction. When the walls cave in, we craft our own support systems from faulty foundations. Femme is resourceful like that. Is my love boiling me a bath when the hot water stopped working? How she made warmth out of winter.
Femme is the okra soup waiting for me at the end of a hard day, which our mothers have been making since theirs.
Femme is keeping each other fed. Femme is pass the wine
or Henny
or whiskey, a toast in celebration of the fact that we are alive.
That tonight we feel safe enough to fall into drunken slumber
In a room full of us, laid in their arms by choice,
knowing we will wake whole
and untouched and okay. Femme is making sure you got home okay. Is a total astrology gay. Is all like, yeah, as a Libra
and as a Taurus
we just like work really well together. Femme is comparing each other's charts at the club,
constellations on our cheekbones dancing
with shooting stars stuck between our teeth. Femme is our magic, the poetry that pours from us,
which is me continuing the oral traditions of my ancestors,
which is us proclaiming our truth
as loudly
or as quietly
as we please.
Because Femme does not have to shout to be as good as the men on this stage. Femme is not just sacrificial poets. It's not just an offering.
Femme is learning to take up space.
Is teacher
my sister Lily teaching me to read and write,
a kind of love that never held me back from telling my own story.
But don't get it twisted,
because Femme is a conditional tenderness.
It's the black eye I gave my sister's abusive ex-boyfriend and the way she would pop off for me too.
Femme is messy,
sweaty,
nipple hair,
hunger and glitter,
dripping bloody heart in hand and mouth,
spilt all over the stage,
bleeding to build together,
building to survive.
Cause our Femme is not fatale, but our Femme can be fatal, can be broken boundaries,
my flesh in his fist,
can be candlelit vigil,
genocide in pink,
silence to the screams,
can be masters of mourning,
her name in my pocket,
their breath in my chest,
can be sad, like actually sad, as in Femmes die for this.
My school was fairly progressive. They even taught contraception in our sex ed class.
When I was 14, my dad handed me a box of condoms and said, you know how to use these, right?
We were taught which preventative methods were the most effective.
I was in Texas, so dad's with shotguns.
And where to go if something broke, what to take, how to fix this mess you'd gotten yourself in. We were taught about herpes and gonorrhea and syphilis and how to keep all your fluids to yourself.
My friends taught me which clinics wouldn't tell my parents.
Which ones handed out free condoms.
But I was never taught that there are worse things that could happen than a baby or a disease.
Yeah, we learned about roofies.
We learned to respect when a woman says no.
We learned about protecting your drink, carrying pepper spray.
We learned what to do when a woman is assaulted, but not that this could happen to me.
I was a virgin when I was raped for the first time.
When it happened to me, it was 10 a.m. and my parents were home. My textbook hadn't described the way I wouldn't even try to fight. There was no paragraph for how to stop her without making a scene.
There wasn't a worksheet for how to stop him without waking my sleeping parents.
There was no correct answer to her threats of suicide when I wasn't in the mood.
There was no manual for the polite victim.
You know, it wasn't like they said it'd be.
I was sober. He was sober. We were 17.
15.
They didn't teach me that I wouldn't know how to protect myself.
That my lungs would close up and we would make pretend husband and wife, make pretend love. The thing about pretend is that it flattens everything to one color. It makes it too simple.
It makes it one syllable, and that syllable is always captioned as a yes.
They didn't teach me that I could want to be with someone, but not always want them.
That being curious about sex doesn't mean I was asking for it.
What I learned was that I was supposed to want it.
I was supposed to feel stolen. I was supposed to feel like less of a human being.
I learned that if you don't scream, no one will listen to you. They don't write about the ones that got away.
I learned that foundation comes in 14 different shades.
No one wants to hear
that your skin is changing colors.
They only ask how you're doing to hear you say fine. I learned I was supposed to feel fine. We were lovers after all.
With a love like that, you hardly have to ask, right? I don't want to blame my school.
I don't want to blame her.
I don't want to blame my church or my mother or even the boy.
We were just children.
But this is preventable, so
someone must be responsible for preventing it. We can teach this better. Some paintings are built from 1,000 points of color.
If you stand too close, a sunset becomes just a series of red dots.
We teach that rape is always a man in an alley.
Always a clenched jaw and a closed fist.
Always a stained white shirt.
But I never used my pepper spray.
I never had to worry about an uncle or a locker room.
Do not confuse one story for all stories. Do not stare at a red dot and say,
the whole painting is just one color.
Give it up for the group piece.
They say home is where the heart is, but love is what binds it all together. Love is what I am learning.
Not the glitter of it,
but the magic of water.
My parents are agreeable people, full of service. The city I come from, full of giving.
My father was a man of the Lord. The Holy Spirit would always move him and then us. The love taught to me was the highway between Cincinnati and Dayton. The daily 4-hour grab in the dark my father would take for our eventual betterment. The love taught to me
was my parents' dedication to jobs that didn't always value them, and taking time off they couldn't afford so we could know what home meant.
The love taught to me was the seed of the mango, the grandest delicacy of my childhood. However, it was close enough to make it to my mother's bedside first. We'll be blessed with the honor to pick clean the narrow succulent outside of the seed.
The love taught to me was the window I slept under, the unblinking eye to the city my parents bought our little home because of how far we could see. Silver dreams in any direction possible. From here, every light in the limits looked like life, like organism, like thriving.
Love was the baby grand piano.
Love was my grandmother's laughing in Aramaic and Arabic.
Love was the chest of pictures taken in Jamaica.
Love was the door painted a different color often, the door where my father left, and the only time my mother cried. The door he came back through every weekend just to sleep in another room.
For every home, one day it starts to rain and never stops. My flood
was the angry incarnation of my parents' tired. My father's hands were born angry, softened with his heartbreak when he found out he passed depression. To me, how it splintered a window, how an entire city grew itself glass and the whole of us too tired to pull it out.
My flood followed us everywhere. The mango seeds in the kitchen trash floated out of their soon-to-be graves and found the way into the backyard. Love is how we cope with the things that want to end it. Love is
my parents' calloused hands relearning soft.
Love is how my mother crossed an ocean for my dad and how they crossed a desert just to have me. Love has always been a migratory path laid out by God.
Love is a flooded door, a million faces until now. It asks me to dig into myself and people I love. It asks me to wait until they are ready to shed their paint. Patience.
Love is the way my mother ate, how she slapped me when I refused to eat a bowl of day-old ramen. Love is how the mango seeds in the backyard blossom into an orchard of how I share my love. Love is where I hope to forever live in. 4 years ago, I asked if you would love me. 4 years ago, I said definitely. 2 years ago, we decided to move in together.
I can offer fixed doors and softened glass. I can offer hopeful. What I have learned from a mother born patient and a father turned gentle.
I can offer you the sounds of my family laughs. We can learn how to cut a mango without making a mess. Let us make a mess. Love is messy,
but will not be perfect if the water returns to claim it.
Love will be the first thing I wrap in newspaper when the earth shifts beneath us.
We'll be ready to put it back together. Love is the work of staying tender.
Work is the continuation of loving.
Love is what I am learning.
Not the glitter of it, but the magic of water.
Home is where I met love.
Home is where I'll always return.
The flood is where I met transformation and the nature of water.
Love is where I met you. You are the work of mending. Love is where I hope to forever be lucky enough to work and rest my bones.
They are wrong, they are wrong, they are wrong. They are wrong for judging me based on the color of my skin. They are wrong for judging me based on the language I speak.
Estoy usando la lengua que me dio mi madre. Y no me importa si no me entienden. It's okay that some of you don't understand what I'm saying.
But you don't have to, because it's the language of our people.
I am wrong, I am wrong, I am wrong. For telling you it's okay to call me Andreas instead of Andrés.
For sitting quiet while I listen to American history. Esta era la historia de mi gente.
Dejando los gringos matar a mi familia.
Y'all still don't understand? Well, start listening.
I don't have to translate my native language to satisfy your needs.
Because you never worry about our needs. We work the jobs that you never take.
To feed our families and keep them alive.
You want to build a wall taller than any building in the world? I guarantee y'all get over that shit with a hop, skip, and a jump con mi familia, mi espalda.
You think I'm a threat, a criminal, a killer, a beaner, and you say it in a sentence like they all mean the same thing.
My mom isn't a threat.
My dad isn't a criminal.
My brother isn't a beaner.
And my sister isn't inferior.
Mi madre is a single parent. The only threat she makes is kicking my ass.
Mi padre is the softy who likes watching novelas.
Mi hermano is too happy being gay to be a cholo.
And mi hermana is a queen who demands respect.
You are wrong, you are wrong, you are wrong.
For claiming to make America great again.
Tell me something I haven't heard.
Tell me I am important.
Tell me I'm not a machista.
Tell me I respect women.
Tell me I'm able to go to college.
Tell me I can do more than be a gardener. Tell us we belong here.
Tenemos razón, tenemos razón, tenemos razón.
We're always right, but have to fight for our rights.
We never wanted war between the brown and the white.
We just want justice even if we have to fight.
Y mi madre tiene razón. English is a weapon for nothing more than friendly fire. Finally, we leave you with the words of wisdom as they should be said.
Tú decides de qué consiste tu vida y nadie te puede decir lo contrario.
Andres, they still don't understand. Gracias.